everyone, and welcome to our August 26th regular council meeting. I will call it to order by asking if there is any introduction of late items.
There are no late items
All
tonight.
right, thank you. And approval of the agenda. Does it look okay for everyone? Councillor Van Elfen and seconded by Councillor Patton. All those in favor? Great. Adoption of minutes from the regular council meeting of August 12th, special council meeting and committee of the whole meeting of the same date. Any changes on that? Any of those? All right. Councillor Holmes, seconded by Councillor Barkwell. All those in favor? Great. And then on to item 5.1, delegations. The Cultural Ambassadors End of Summer Report. So hello. I would expect it's the 4 of you ladies. Okay, may I ask you to come to the podium, please?
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to update you on the activities of the Cultural Ambassadors through the summer. Since the Cultural Ambassadors started work in July, there's been a lot of opportunity to assist organizations. A large way we were able to was by creating personalized surveys that we administered at the events that we attended. We worked together to gather information to create a master list of community contacts, and a significant amount of time was given to researching information related to projects, including the benchmarking for the Center Stage Theatre, as well as the management framework for the Arts Center.
One of the events we attended throughout the summer was the Wednesdays Music in the Park. We collaborated directly with the Arts Council, and we helped with their event with setup and takedown, as well as assisted the band, things along those lines. We also surveyed the audience and gained valuable feedback that will be for future use for us as well as the Arts Center, and how they can improve their event and what people liked about it. We also captured photos and videos that highlighted the event and how good of an event it is for the community, how it brought the community together.
Sorry guys, no volume. This one's beyond me. Roland? For the next one? Any ideas?
Turn on the speakers.
Which is where?
Right down there where the X is. Right
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Okay, now slide it over.
Let's just do that one more time. Oh.
Not sure why it's not working.
Technology, right?
Had a good
Sorry
time at the
for-
park.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, there's a good idea.
You won't do that.
You won't hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Forget video. Go ahead, Ines.
Anyways, yeah, that video was just outlining a video interview that we did in the Music in the Park and how much she enjoyed it.
Sorry, she's something we have to do. There we go.
So the community events calendar was a big project that the Culture Ambassadors took on. We basically developed an Excel spreadsheet that compiled all events in the community with information along those lines of those events. And these photos are some pictures of some of the events that we went to throughout the summer. And then after we made the spreadsheet, we made it into an public Outlook calendar, and we updated the calendar until 2025, so then it could be easily maintained by someone. And then after doing that, we discovered that the Chamber of Commerce runs a website, a tourism website, that had a really pretty, beautiful events calendar on there, compiled with quite a few of the events that Summerland runs. So we then sent an email to all the local organizations that we have contacts to and notified them about the change in how they can send their information into the Chamber of Commerce, and then they can get their information into the calendar, and then it can appeal to tourists as well as locals, and everyone will be able to access all the events in Summerland.
Thank you.
During the past 2 months, the cultural ambassadors created extensive reports that outlined and detailed various matters in the community. These reports were created from the revitalization of our downtown, social media of various community organizations, budgeting towards arts and culture, the management framework for the Arts and Cultural Center, and a calendar outlining all of the events that are held in Summerland during the year. These reports required us to attend many local events to gather information, and we were also calling various community organizations to gather information for these reports. The purpose of these reports was to gain a better understanding of various matters in the community. These reports were worked on throughout the period of the past 2 months. Each report was for a different communal concept that is centered around various matters in the community and Summerland's main focuses. The information gathered for these reports will be useful to refer to in the future for other Summerland district reports.
I just wanted to talk a bit about the media project that we had going on this summer. So a big thing that the cultural ambassadors did is we went to events, and at those events, we would collect a lot of media. So right here, there's just some pictures outlining what we were trying to do. You get a sense of the energy at events, and it's supposed to get a whole picture of the layout of the event, and that was to give back to organizers so that they could use it for either future promotions or analyzing how they can improve. So there, it's one from the Ultraman, one from the picture of this event at the museum, there's one from a rainy music in the park, and then there's the Summerland Triathlon. So then another piece of media we did was video interviews. And we'd normally just give an open-ended question, like this one is, why did you come out tonight? And it's just a response of 10 to 30 seconds just to get an idea of that. So will it play?
I don't think so. You
No?
might want to just, no.
It's all good.
Just want to describe what he said.
It's all good. Basically, in the video, he shares that he's from out of town. He's looking to buy a condo in Summerland. And that at that event, he met a lot of people. So those were the 3 big ideas that were really useful in that video. And that's kind of the stuff we were looking for, because that's really big for not only us and knowing what outreach these Summerland events have, but for the organizations putting them on and knowing how their advertising is being helpful. Yeah. Perfect. And then the first project the cultural ambassadors did was the preparation of our office space. So we kind of renovated the old Okanagan College room into a nice big office space with all our posters and projects down the walls. You can see we started with some just like washing and painting. And the main purpose of that, it wasn't just to have a nice place to work. It was also to do a team building exercise, which was really key for us because it was the beginning of the summer and it really helped us become a good group.
I'll just wrap up for Grant Mencier, who isn't here. He's already headed off to University of Calgary. He did a lot of work with us around tech support. He was a PowerPoint whiz and an Excel master, so we all learned a lot of new skills. And one of the great things about this team was how well they taught each other what they knew. Grant was always a bright light during surveying. He had a good sense of humor and took well the many suggestions that people had. He was told when he was at the Legion that what Summerland needs is just more Giant's Head. Giant's Head everywhere. Oh. Giant's Head on every corner. And he had a good sense of humor about that. He also helped a lot with creating infographics and working with stats. And I just wanted to share this slide, which was encapsulating a lot of the work that the cultural ambassadors did, as well as working really well as a team. They contributed a lot of their own distinct talents, and I got a lot of good feedback from the various organizations that they worked with. So they helped not only the District of Summerland, they helped local cultural organizations, and I know that they will be missed in the community. So thank you from the District of Summerland.
Thank you. Angelique, I was remiss in not asking you to introduce the delegation. So could you do that now, please?
Sure. So we have Grace Mancier, sorry, Grace Mancier, I'm combining names. It got so I was like a mother pointing and saying you. Grace Zweizig is the Cultural Ambassador Supervisor sitting at the far right. Zaria Jenkins, just want to just hold your hand up. Zaria Jenkins, Meredith Hildebrand, and Natalie Benoit.
Thank you. Thank you. Council, any questions of our ambassador team before they head off to school? Nope. Okay. Thank you so much for coming forward and letting us know what you've been doing this summer. It's really great to see. And it's good to get that information, and as you said, one of you said, to have that information so we can integrate it in upcoming reports, especially as we do the downtown plan. That's really good information to have. So thank you for working for the district for the summer. And all the best in the upcoming school year. And what's going on with you, Grace? All the best. Could I have someone on council bring forward this resolution to receive for information, please? Councillor Barkwell and Councillor Traynor, all in favor? Great. Okay, item 6 on our agenda is the opportunity for the public to comment on any of the items that are shown on the screen there. You'll notice that the development variance permit is not on there. That's you have a particular time when that comes up in the agenda to speak to that item. So is there anyone that would care to comment on any of the items? All right, no one. So on to my mayor's report. I'll open tonight by welcoming our new CAO, Anthony Haddad. Mr. Haddad most recently led the Development Services Division at the City of Penticton, which included overseeing many other functions, including economic development, land management, bylaw services, and business licensing. Mr. Haddad also has experience in the private sector, having filled the role of the Director of Campus Planning and Development for UBCO for 2 years. Originally from Melbourne, Australia, that's right, good. Mr. Haddad also worked for several years at the City of Calgary in planning and project management. On behalf of council, district staff, and the whole community, we welcome you and let you know that we are looking forward to working with you. These last 2 weeks I have been in Japan with the sister city delegation visiting Toyokoro. At 3,000 residents, our sister city has a much smaller population than Summerland, but the most noticeable similarity between the two communities is the agricultural economy, although Toyokoro's is much larger than ours here. Toyokoro is located on the island of Hokkaido, the northernmost and second largest island in Japan. It is separated from Honshu, the main island, where Tokyo is, by Tsugaru Strait, and the two islands are connected by an underground undersea railway. No, we didn't get to go on that. The largest city on Hokkaido is Sapporo, which is the capital, with a population of almost 2 million. The delegation, which included Summerland's 2019-2020 royalty, spent several days in Sapporo before going to Toyokoro. For decades, a little bit more history here, for decades the Japanese and the Russians have had an ownership dispute over Sakhalin Island north of Hokkaido and the Kuril Islands located east and northeast of Sakhalin. The Ainu are the indigenous people of Japan and live almost exclusively on the island of Hokkaido. Hokkaido is the northernmost island, so they get a lot of snow in the winter. gets quite cold. Like Canada, Japan has adopted the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, although like Canada, it has not ratified the ILO Convention number 169 that speaks to securing rights and respecting differences of Indigenous and tribal peoples' cultures and identities. The best part of the trip for me was the 3.5 days we spent in Toyokoro. The three royalty stayed with host families and joined the rest of the delegation for parts of the tours and events. The most interesting discussions I had were with the mayor about how their local government works, and with one of the men who oversees the solar array installed just a few minutes from the Toyokoro City Hall. On the local government side of our discussions, the local government consists of the mayor. His name is Mayor Miyaguchi. He'll be 80 this year. He's been the mayor there for a long time. The deputy mayor and 9 councillors. Currently, and for quite a long time I understood, all the elected officials are men. The mayor and councillors do not work together as a team. The mayor makes all the decisions. If the councillors do not like the direction the mayor is taking or a project that is being proposed, they can try to persuade the mayor to change his decision, but he is under no obligation to do so. We do things differently here. Thank goodness we do things differently here, because my ideas are not always terrific. Local government, this is something quite different, is also in charge of the school system, the education system, and the health system. They are not the jurisdiction of the province, so Hokkaido, as they are in BC. Toyokoro employs more than 100 people, the town of Toyokoro, and has an annual budget of 50 million. The second item was the solar array. That was especially interesting. Just over 5 years ago, Toyokoro opened its privately owned solar park. The park is located on 45 hectares of land that was previously owned by an airport operator and the town of Toyokoro. It consists of 84,000 fixed solar panels that produce 22 megawatts per year, which is enough to provide energy for 8,200 households. In comparison, Summerland solar array will have approximately 3,200 panels and produce 1 megawatt annually. The energy is sold to the Hokkaido Electric Power Company. They don't have their own utility. The project reduces CO2 emissions by an estimated 13,000 tons per year. The operator who came on the tour bus, he didn't speak Japanese, but through interpreters, did give us some advice, and that was to make sure that there was enough room between the rows of panels to accommodate heavy snowfalls. As it starts to pile up, it makes it very difficult to get the maximum sun out of power generation out of the panels. He feels that their 84,000 panels are in rows that are too close together. He said he would do it differently next time. I would like to thank Council for the opportunity to visit our sister city. It was a fantastic trip. I'm really glad to be home. The Summerland Chair of Sister City, Leanne Sieben, Toyokoro's mayor, and I had the opportunity to talk about our sister city relationship, and we all agreed that it is time for it to evolve. We will be having, as a council, as a team, we'll be having a discussion about this in due course. Thank you to Councillor Barkwell for chairing the last regular council meeting, and to Councillor Traynor for filling in for me at the RDOS as our alternate director. Thank you. And I know you're brand new, but do you have a report?
Certainly, the pressure's on. No, thank you very much. First of all, gracious for the warm welcome over the last week or so, for being here with the district. A fantastic opportunity to meet the team, the management team, over the last week or so. I had the chance to tour all of the district's, or I think most of the district's facilities at a high level, and look forward to digging deeper and finding out a lot more. And now we're actually catching up with the entire team on Wednesday this week, so look forward to meeting the entire district team, and excited over the next few years for some healthy discussion with the team and the community, and look forward to working with council staff and the community over the coming years. So again, thank you. Looking forward to some more robust reports. Week and 1 day into the process so far, but looking forward to working with council over the coming years. So thank you. And just one note of an upcoming information session Tuesday or tomorrow evening at the Arena, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. We have the net metering information session at the Arena. So presentation at 3:30 and then at 5:30 p.m. as well. So look forward to seeing everyone out there. Thank you.
Great. We didn't have a committee of the whole, so I presume there's nothing arising from the committee of the whole. So on to business items. The first one is 11.1, development variance permit for 13615 Cartwright Avenue, and this is for the manager of planning. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This next application is Development Variance Permit 19-015. It's for a property located at 13615 Cartwright Avenue. Now that's just north. You can see in the map, it's due west of downtown, about 1 kilometer on Cartwright Avenue. Now you can see in the lower image, the plan view, this property is what's considered a through lot. It has frontage on 2 roads, that is Cartwright Avenue and Kenyon Road on the rear of this property. This property is within the RSD1 zone, and I'll make a point of clarification that it's specified in the report that the minimum lot area in the RSD1 zone was 450 square meters, when in fact it's 460 square meters for minimum lot area. Another discrepancy that was pointed out by Councillor Barkwill was that the report specified that the lot area is approximately, as stated in the report, it specifies it's approximately 1185.1 square meters, when in fact, based on the survey information provided to us, the property is 1187.5 square meters, so a difference of 2.4 square meters. We're not sure why there's a discrepancy between information provided in our GIS system, which is provided by Land Titles Office, and the surveyed information. However, I'm just pointing out that discrepancy now. So this property is included within the low density residential designation in the OCP, as well as within the RSD1 zone. The purpose, I provided some images here just for a little context. This is the image of the existing house that you can see from Cartwright Avenue. And the existing driveway. This driveway, as part of this, if this development variance permit is successful and the subdivision proceeds, will be required to be moved to the north end of the lot, and I'll talk a little bit further about that. In the next slide, you can see the rear of the property from Kenyon Road, and the area where the proposed access would be for the driveway would be right in this location here, so fairly flat off that rear elevation. Now, there are 3 variances associated with this application. In order to facilitate the subdivision, which requires a lot depth variance to both lots, we first need to consider the rear yard setback requirement for the existing house. In order to split the lot into 2 fairly equal lots, results in a reduced rear yard setback of 6.1 meters. Now, the zoning bylaw does allow for open decks to encroach within a rear yard setback up to 2 meters. So if it was an open deck in the rear of this house, they would be permitted to encroach up to 5.5 meters from the rear property line. However, the bottom portion of this deck is actually fully enclosed, so it doesn't qualify as an open deck, and therefore it requires the full 7.5 meter rear yard setback. And in this case, the requested variance from 7.5 to 6.1 meters based on the proposed lot line. Now, we have 2 proposed lots, proposed lot 1, which is the existing house, and proposed lot 2. And the proposal is to vary the lot depth requirement from 30 meters for proposed lot 1 to 24.76 meters, and from 30 meters for proposed lot 2 to 24.73 meters. And now, it should be noted that the minimum frontage requirement in the zoning bylaw is 12 meters. However, the total width of this lot is 22.89 meters in width. So a couple of opportunities actually could happen on this property. If there was no house on this lot, the applicant could come forward with a lot width variance and provide 2 long, approximately 50-meter long lots side by side. However, because the existing house is in good condition on the lot and they have no intent in removing the house, they are proposing to subdivide the rear portion of the lot into a separate lot. Now, that lot is proposed to have a total lot area of 566 square meters, so that's 100 and 6 square meters larger than the minimum required, so it definitely makes up for the shortfall in lot depth. It makes up for in lot width, with that width of 22.89 meters. The same can be said for the front of the lot, which is proposed to have a lot area of 567 square meters, so well above the minimum 460 square meters. So as presented, this lot certainly meets the objectives of the OCP. Now, I brought up the OCP density target of the low-density residential zone. Now, that density target is up to 22 units per hectare or portion thereof of land as a density target. So when we looked at the total area of this lot, the final lot area, based on the survey plan, is 1,133 square meters. So that certainly, that provides for a total density of 2.49 units. So that's well above the target density of the 2 units that they're proposing through this proposed subdivision. So it meets the objectives of the OCP. It creates an infill subdivision. It provides a flexible approach to facilitate the subdivision, and staff support the recommendation provided for council.
Thank you. There's an opportunity for the public to comment on this development variance permit that's before us, beginning with the applicant. Is there anybody in the gallery that would like to do so?
I'm the applicant, but if it please council, if you have any questions of me, right, on everything that Mr. Hay has.
Thank you. Any questions of David Patey? Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, thank you. You were going to explain why the driveway had to be moved in the...
Right. As part of this subdivision, we are requiring road dedication from Cartwright Avenue with a depth of approximately 3.84 meters. You can see this strip from the front of the property that we are proposing to take as part of the subdivision. Now, that has an area of 54.5 square meters. What'll happen is it will reduce, you can see right where the cursor is, we've got 4.7 meters remaining from this front lot line to the front of the house. Now, that's insufficient in depth to meet our requirements for a parking space in front of the dwelling. However, you can see right here where I've got the cursor, it does provide still for 6.5 meters of setback from the front property line to accommodate the relocated driveway on the northern side of the lot.
You'll come back? Councillor Carlson?
Just further to that, then, what's the purpose of the road dedication? Is it for 50 years down the road, when we might need more road?
Cartwright Avenue is classified as a urban standard road within a 16-meter cross-section, and we don't at this point have enough dedicated cross-section width in order to meet that bylaw standard. So the purpose of the dedication is to meet that ultimate width of 16 meters.
There's sorry, just a sec, Councillor Holmes. I'm not sure if it's at that point or not, but at some point as you head to Heron Estates, I think it's called, there's a sidewalk on the other side of the road. Would there ever be a requirement to have a sidewalk on this side of the road as well?
Madam Mayor, there may be a requirement. When we go through the subdivision application process, we'll receive that detailed information back from our Public Works and Engineering Department, specifically with respect to what works and services will be triggered as part of the subdivision process. At the end of this road where this property does meet Heron Road, that road was also subject to a development variance permit, I believe back in 2008, to reduce the total cross-section of the road to accommodate the Cartwright phased subdivision development. And I believe that cross-section at that point is around 12 meters. So it doesn't meet the 16-meter cross-section that the district has identified in our transportation master plan and identified within our subdivision and development servicing bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Thank you. Well, I guess in theory, they could apply for a variance to keep the driveway where it is?
They could. Madam Mayor, another option exists for this property that, since it's the owners that are proposing to build on the new proposed Lot 2.
Sorry, that's not correct.
Oh, that's true?
We're not proposing to build on it. We're looking to sell it.
Oh, okay. nonetheless, the opportunity exists for a shared driveway from Kenyon. There is a statutory right-of-way along the south property line of this property. So you could require, as part of subdivision or as part of this process, a shared driveway with an easement over Lot 2 in favor of Lot 1 to provide a single driveway off of Kenyon to access the rear of Lot 1 and to provide access to Lot 2. So that is an option, and we did talk about that option with the applicant. However, we feel that even with the dedication, there's sufficient area for the relocated driveway to easily be accommodated on the north side of this lot.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so could I have somebody bring forward the recommendation, please, and please read it out. Councillor Carlson, you can manage it, right?
I will move that the development variance permit DVP 19-015 to reduce the minimum required rear setback from 7.5 meters to 6.1 meters on proposed Lot 1, and to reduce the minimum required lot depth from 30 meters to 24.76 meters on proposed Lot 1, and to reduce the minimum required lot depth from 30 meters to 24.73 meters on proposed Lot 2 to facilitate a proposed two-lot subdivision located at 13615 Cartwright Avenue, legally described as Lot 3, District Lot 3640 DYD Plan 15075, be approved.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Van Elfen. Any further discussion on this? Councillor Patton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I may, to staff. Is it in our zoning bylaw where if you have driveway parking, it must be in front of a garage? No?
Madam Mayor, the zoning bylaw specifies that where parking is in the front yard, it requires a 6-meter setback to any garage doors. The single-family dwelling is actually permitted to be closer than the 6-meter setback for the car, but that is the requirement for the driveway. Now, having said that, the bylaw doesn't require that you have a garage facing the street or any such thing. It would actually be preferable for if we had a zoning bylaw that provided for side yard driveway access to increase parking capacity on site, particularly as we move into the future and we look at secondary suites, carriage houses. It would be advantageous to have better on-site parking capacity in order to reduce the off-site street parking that we see in neighborhoods that primarily provide for garage-fronted housing.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other comments or questions? I just wanted to say that I really like that the applicant is taking the opportunity to divide this substantial lot in two to provide another housing unit. It's exactly what we're looking for, you know, fairly close to town and in the urban growth area, so thank you. All right, Councillor Burkwell.
When we get these variance applications for something like this, it reminds me that we really do have to have a look at expanding our RSD 1I zone. And we've talked about it for, now and then, and it would, it's a big job to consider what neighborhoods would be appropriate, but our arbitrary 10-minute walk limit on that zoning is, I think, out of date, and we could encourage further density by expanding that area that would encompass this automatically without having to come to council.
Good point. Any other comments of council? Okay, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Approved unanimously. Thank you, council. On to 11.2, amendment to the 2019 acting mayor appointments, and I will turn this over to our acting corporate officer, Nicole.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is to consider making an amendment to the 2019 acting mayor schedule for September and October. A change in schedule has made it so that one of the councillors is unable to attend for the month that they've been previously assigned. And this was, the community charter states that council must set an acting mayor's schedule in place, and therefore, by resolution, therefore, we will need to amend it by resolution.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to bring this forward, Councillor Carlson?
Sure. I'll move that Councillor Doug Patton be appointed acting mayor for September 2019, and that I will be appointed acting mayor for October 2019.
Okay. Seconded by Councillor Holmes. Do you have discussion?
I was going to second.
Oh.
Sorry.
Any conflicts or anything on that? Okay. Thank you, Councillor Patton, for doing that. Just switching around. So I'll call the question. All those in favor? Excellent. Okay. On to item 11.3, notice of motion for the UN Refugee Agency #WithRefugees campaign. And I will turn this over to you again, Nicole, for introduction for Councillor Holmes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Holmes brought a notice of motion forward at the August 12, 2019 council meeting that the District of Summerland sign the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR/UN Refugee Agency #WithRefugees campaign statement of solidarity for consideration.
Thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Thank you. So I brought this forward. I sent you all the report, which I'm sure you've read. So I think the refugee crisis that got a lot of headlines a few years ago with when the Syrian refugees were out. It's still ever present in the world. We're still in a crisis, but because it's not in the news so much, I think they're having a trouble finding places, permanent homes for refugees nowadays. And I believe the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has launched this, recognizing the role that communities and local governments have in welcoming refugees to their communities. So they've launched this campaign to try and I guess create that recognition again that we need to be a welcoming community. And I think Summerland very much is. Summerland has gained a reputation in the valley as kind of a welcoming community for refugees. We were the first community in the valley to sponsor the United Church, through this United Church, the first one to have a Syrian refugee family come to Summerland. Our group, the Summerland Refugee Sponsorship Group, has since sponsored 3 further families, and I'm happy to say today, make it official, that we have a 4th family coming in the next 6 to 12 weeks from Namibia, a family of 6. So we continue to kind of show the way, and I think Summerland is being talked a lot about in the refugee sponsorship circles across the country as a way a small community can kind of punch above its weight and show how it's possible for a small community to welcome refugees. So I think it's really very appropriate for us as a council to sign this. I think it would give it would show, first of all, that we are a welcoming community, and I also think the refugee sponsorship group has 130 volunteers, so it's a pretty large community group, and I think it would give them recognition that what they're doing is recognized by council and supported. So that's why I brought this motion forward.
Thank you, Councillor Holmes, and thank you for the good news as of today.
Yeah.
Questions of council on this proposal? I have one. Oh, Councillor Carlson.
There was just a question earlier of what a statement of solidarity would mean as opposed to, say, a proclamation or something. Do you have, I don't know if we've had that conversation or if it, because there's the district doesn't do proclamations, but this would be different, right? Is that the?
This is different, yeah.
I can answer that if you want.
Sure.
I
I
mean,
just-
the way I look at it, like if you look at last council meeting, we agreed to provide the KVR a statement of significance for the railway. It's more a statement that this is something that we support, as opposed, we're not proclaiming that this is Refugee Day in Summerland or anything like that, right? So it's, that's the way I see it, is different, so.
And my question is, how does the District of Summerland show their support by signing, sorry, there's a fruit fly buzzing around me, show their support for signing this, by signing this?
So
How do we do that?
if you go to the website, the hashtag with refugees website on the UN, it lists all the municipalities that have signed around the world. So we would be there, in shining lights with all the others, and that's how you show your support. Really, I think from the UN's perspective, it's the volume of municipalities is I don't imagine they really care about Summerland. We care about Summerland, but maybe the UN, it's just one more that I think it's more, you speak louder if you speak together, right? So it's just joining forces with other municipalities.
Good. So is that something that you would take on, Mr. CAO?
Yeah, through the Chair, Your Worship, we can certainly follow up with that, and then any other communications we can get out on the positive message around this as well, we can certainly move forward.
Great, thank you.
It's pretty simple. You go to the website and you just.
That's all you have to do.
The technical explanation.
You have to get the sounds right, though, or it doesn't work. Okay, so if I could have someone other than Councillor Holmes bring forward this, Councillor Traynor.
Yeah, I will bring forward. Did you want me to read it?
Just to receive for information, right? Or did you have anything to add to the?
No, I don't have anything to add, but do we just bring it forward for information, or?
It says just to be received for information.
That would be an option. My motion would be that we sign the
Okay.
statement.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. Is that the one that's written here then? Yeah. So that we sign it.
Thank you. And seconded by Councillor Van Elfen. Any other discussion or comments? Okay, all those in favor? Great. And now on to 12.1, correspondence. Is there any correspondence there that someone would like to bring forward?
Oh, there was.
Give you a sec, Councillor
I
Holmes.
think there was. What could it possibly be? I read all this. Oh yeah, the letter from about the homeless, 100 more homes Penticton.
Yes.
Is seeking our support for an application to the federal government. I think homelessness in Penticton affects us as well, and I think it would be worthwhile providing that letter of support.
Would you like to make a resolution to that effect, and then we can get it done?
Sure, I should have been a bit more prepared. So I'll resolve that Summerland Council provides a letter of support for 100 more homes Penticton to the federal government.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Barkwell. Any discussion on this? Okay. Councillor Van Elfen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just, we may need their support too, eventually, similar situations, in our future here in our community, so we'll be looking for support from other communities too, so I think it's wise that we support them, our
Yep.
neighbors.
It's not like we don't have homeless here. Okay, so call the question. All those in favor? Great. Moving right along. Item 13, council reports. Oh, I'm sorry.
Your Worship, I think we
Oh, you have something
moved
else?
the motion that we send a letter of support, but we didn't move that we accept the correspondence as a whole.
Oh, you are exactly right. Thank you.
You're on the ball today.
Would you like to
Move
move
that we receive the correspondence.
Thank you, Councillor Barkwell. Seconded by Councillor Carlson. All in favor? Great. Now on to Councillor reports, and I will start with you, Councillor Barkwell.
Oh, geez, I shouldn't have opened my mouth. Well, I enjoyed being acting mayor.
It's your first time,
Yes,
like,
first
in your
time I had
last
to-
term, right?
Had to chair a meeting, and it went okay, so. And that's it, it's been a quiet couple of weeks. Thanks.
We'll go around the table.
Thank you, Worship. I have nothing to report. Oh, I have one. On last Wednesday, I opened up the first annual poker rally at Summerland Seniors Village, and it was a lot of fun. There was some nice cars there, and so it was a lot of fun. So I thank Karen for inviting me on behalf of yourself, your worship, and council to open it up. So
Thanks for representing us.
that's all I have.
Councillor Trainer.
As you mentioned in your report, I attended the RDOS meeting last week, which was really good. And then I just wanted to remind people in Summerland that now that we're at the end of summer, the bears are out, especially down where I live in Trout Creek. And I was up at the research station at the gardens last week for a walk at about 7 o'clock at night, and there was a giant black bear up there, and then we saw another brown one. So I just wanted to remind people to be careful with their garbage, or be mindful of their garbage over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Councillor Holmes.
Thank you. I have quite a few things to report out on, actually. So on August 13th, so the day after our last council meeting, I went to Vancouver for the Climate Caucus Summit. So I carpooled with Penticton Councillor Julius Bloomfield and Jim Beattie from First Things First Okanagan. There was about 50 mayors and councillors there present, and about maybe another 20 or so Skyped in. And it was a day about how we could pool our energies to create a path forward to fighting climate change. And so they started with basically outlining the daunting challenges facing us, and every time I go to one of these climate change things, I leave thinking we're all doomed. But at the same time, it's encouraging when you're hearing from other municipalities of what they're doing, and that I think working together that we can find some solutions. So the day we had 13 different organizations making short presentations on different solutions, and the elected officials there then chose a certain number to workshop those different topics. So this was everything from leading to zero emissions for new buildings, retrofitting existing buildings, land use, active transportation. So it was quite a wide range, and that was just seen as kind of the beginning. And now they're talking about how do we build on that momentum. And since then, there are a number of online groups have been set up to share the information and drive some collaboration. And the idea is to develop action plans for each topic, so municipalities can work simultaneously to drive the change. And I really encourage everybody who hasn't already to join the Climate Caucus, because there's a lot of good energy on that. And I haven't had time to actually write a full written report from the summit, but I still intend to do that at some point, and I'll make it available to everybody. So we drove there. So we left Summerland around 6 in the morning, and we got back after midnight. So we didn't stay there. It was a quick turnaround, because the next day I had a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and there's a good discussion there about Light Up, and their planning and organization is ahead of last year's schedule. There's some changes coming to Light Up. The street layout will be changed to allow for a better flow of people. A third stage will be on Victoria Street near the post office, and that'll be a world stage celebrating different cultures from around the world with a variety of different performances. And Bottleneck Drive will also be operating a hospitality zone, next to the library and the main stage. So that's something new. And also, it is encouraging here that the chamber is working with Bottleneck Drive to have light up the vines on the same weekend. So last year, remember, it was different weekends, and so they're bringing it together, so it'll be the same. So light up on downtown on the Friday, and light up the vines on the Saturday and Sunday. So that's encouraging. The letter that we all received from the chamber regarding the proposed change of Summerland's designation from district to city, I presume we didn't receive that in time to be in the council correspondence, but maybe if it's on the next agenda, if anybody wants to pull that to discuss, we can. I just like this because a few of you have asked me if I could shed further light on that, and I can't because it was discussed in camera. I don't really know why they discussed it in camera, but at our next meeting, I'll ask what their policy is for going in camera to discuss different items. Then the next day, August 15th, it was RDOS. It was a bit slow day because it's summertime, so they slow down over the summer, unlike us, we keep working. So I'll start doing those written reports that the mayor and I, we spoke about when things pick up again in the fall. But the Ministry of Transport was there, Steve Surratt, and so I'd just like to say to council, they come to the RDOS quarterly, so the next time they come will be in November. So if anybody has anything that they want either the mayor or myself to raise at the RDOS regarding transportation, just let us know, because they'll take any questions. They're quite open. Councillor Traynor actually asked them about the Highway 97 safety between Penticton and Summerland. And they reviewed it last year, and the location for the additional roadside barriers along the lake have been identified. They just have to find funding to put those in. They also talked about the median barriers, so in the middle of the roads for safety, and that's tied to traffic volumes, and they said that the volumes aren't quite there yet to justify further median barriers. October 16th was a follow-up to August 16th, so the next day after that was the Friday now, the primary care community workshop follow-up. And so we're working on different issue sheets for each community, so what are the primary health care issues in each community. And this is for the whole South Okanagan-Similkameen. And they're going to provide us all with these sheets of what the main issues are in our communities that we can then take to UBCM and use for when we're talking to Interior Health or whatever. So we're all aware of what the main issues, and for Summerland, it's space. We really need another clinic in this town. So we'll be getting, they'll be like cheat sheets that we can all refer to. So that's really helpful working with them. They're a great group, the division. They've also explained to us this, they've come up with a patient attachment list. Mm-hmm. So rather than just phoning up, if you're new to the community or if you don't have a family doctor, rather than phoning up every family doctor in Summerland, Penticton to try and get on, they've created a centralized list. So you put your name, you register online, your name's on the list, and when your name comes up, first come, first serve, when your name comes up, you'll get a family doctor. So that's just launched, and so it's I think it's a pretty good initiative.
And the website is the South Okanagan-Similkameen Division of Family Practice website?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
I've got something. It is, so there's these little cards. It's www.divisionbc.ca/SOS. And so there's all these cards. So you're going to see these cards in all your doctor's offices. I've taken some over to the Food Bank and Resource Center. Different organizations will have these cards all around, so people will know. And then this week, this past week and the weekend, I've been helping out with setting up with the Riga Arts Festival. I've already attended a couple events. In fact, this afternoon, I was hauling a stage from the arena to the library for a author's reading, which I'm missing tonight, unfortunately. But if you don't mind, I'd like to read a message from the Queen.
I don't mind.
Okay. Thank you. So this is from the Queen, so
You
it's...
can do it in her voice.
Well, you just have to imagine a posh English accent, okay? The wording is, you love the language. Elizabeth II, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom, Canada, and her other realms and territories, Queen, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith, to all whom these presents shall come, greeting. Whereas George Riga, a towering figure in the history of Canadian theatre, literature, and culture, and the author of many novels, songs, and works for radio, film, television, stage, was a great Canadian writer and a tireless fighter for social justice for all marginalized people in our global village. And whereas the exploration and artistic depiction of cultural identity, inequality, discrimination, and reconciliation need continued examination and acknowledgement in Canadian society, and whereas it is deemed desirable to designate George Riga Week to celebrate his legacy and to coincide with the Riga Arts Festival, which is to be held August 24th to September 1st, 2019 in Summerland, British Columbia, where George Riga lived and created most of his works. Now know ye that we do, by these presents, proclaim and declare that August 24th to September 1st, 2019 shall be known as George Riga Week in the province of British Columbia. And I'd just like to say it's very common in BC for different days and weeks to be proclaimed for different causes and disease and activities. And there's a Wild Salmon Day and Cancer Awareness Week on that. But for royal proclamations about public figures are really rare in BC. In fact, there's one for Louis Riel, even though I don't think he ever stepped foot in BC. There's one for Captain George Vancouver, and he wasn't here for very long. And George Riga, and that's about it. So it's it's something I think this community can be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, that's a proclamation.
That's not ours.
It's okay, though. Just one thing, there was, on Friday, the Advisory Planning Commission as well as the Agricultural Advisory Committee both met to discuss and hear presentations from our development services on the same topic. The first one was agricultural zoning and reviewing and rebuilding our bylaw around ag zones. There will be input, and there has been input from the Ministry of Agriculture as well as from the community at large. So it's a long process that we've just begun to undertake. My understanding is that Kevin Taylor is the lead on all of that. And the other one is for farm worker housing, which is another bylaw that I don't think even exists right now, or at least not in a very useful way. And so it's being rebuilt, and hopefully, it will allow for those who require farm workers for their actual farms in a much more authentic way than we may be used to in Summerland, will have the ability and the opportunity to actually house people. So hopefully, all of this will go well over the next few months, and I think that it was good timing to bring it forward to the advisory committees and then to the commission, because now they're starting to think about it and make sure that the community at large gets to have their input as well. And obviously council will, because it will come to us soon.
If I could just add something, the students in Toyokoro that were here last year are still talking about the tour of your cherry operation.
Well, that's fun.
They still are.
We sent 2 pallets of cherries to Costco Japan last week, so it was kind of exciting. Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Saturday, I briefly attended and did a walk through the electric car display at the high school. Some very interesting units and statistics on the units and costs and what have you.
Is that where this came from?
Yes, that's from Councillor Holmes.
It was from Vancouver.
But it was very interesting to see all the different types and options that are available in the marketplace today. And it was really well represented by the vehicles that were there. And Friday, I had a lovely invitation from the Peachland Water Protection Alliance. I went there for a lovely luncheon and some great conversation. And the MLA, Mr. Adam Olson, was there. Yeah, so we had a nice conversation and some great company. And just heads up, this Saturday night coming up, 7:30 at your local arena, the Summerland Steam will have their first exhibition game of the season. So come on out and have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, opportunity for the public and the media. Do you have anything to ask us about, John? All good? Okay. Mary Ann? All right. So I will bring forward a resolution now to close the meeting to the public. Actually, I won't bring it forward. Councillor Van Alphen and Councillor Traynor. All those in favor? Any opposed? Councillor Burkwell? Did you vote, Councillor Holmes?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Thank you. We'll just let people leave.